Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander Tactical. Now a combat shirt is an extremely useful piece of kit, mainly because of the way in which it's constructed and the different zones that it has on it and how they then interact with some of the other gear, the other kit that you're wearing. That's what we're going to have a look at today with the Helikon-Tex MCDU Combat Shirt. Now I guess to get a couple of housekeeping things out of the way, so I'm 5'10", which is 176 centimeters, I always get that one wrong. I'm usually a large. I've bought this in large and it fits me just right, not too small, not too big. I also have a t-shirt on underneath this, mainly because it's just a little bit cold today. But yes, so it is as expected that I find with Helikon-Tex's size. If you're a large, go for a large and it should fit you just about right. Sleeves wise on this, the sleeves are just right, and for the body and the material on this, it hugs, but these are designed to fit a little bit more figure hugging through the torso, but have a little bit more room through the sleeves again, you know, which is part of things we'll have a look at today. Now, depending on what sort of gear you have, what sort of kit you have, Helikon-Tex generally have a colorway or a color that will match whatever you have. As far as flat colours are concerned, there are several different flat colours that you can get this in. The version that I have here today, this is the US DNC Desert Night Camo, but they've just recently released a US Woodland, they've released a Tiger Stripe, but then you've also got some of your others in there, like your Multicam, your Polish Woodland. You know, there are a lot of different options to make sure if you have a certain setup, then they'll have a shirt for you. Now, as far as the materials are concerned, you actually have a few different blends on here, and this is one of the bits that I mentioned at the beginning of this about different zones and how each of these different zones interact with the gear or the kit that you're wearing for the day. The main torso on this is made from a top cool polyester material. What this does is, if you have a chest carrier, if you have a plate carrier or a chest rig or any sort of equipment on front of this, it allows the polyester to wick away a lot of that moisture from you. Is it going to stop you sweating? No. There's no company that can ever produce a garment that will stop you from sweating, but what it does is it mitigates some of that sweating and helps to, you know, get it away from your skin with some of the wicking qualities that it has. Clearly I have a cotton t-shirt on underneath this, which would, you know, just completely ruin that, but if you were to use a man-made base layer underneath this, they work together absolutely, you know, chef's kiss. That then changes though through the torso and onto the armpits or the insides of your armpits, mainly because these are kind of hardware areas, but also areas that will be rubbing against your kit. There's a lot of nice kind of give to this, so it doesn't restrict any movement whatsoever. Then getting into the arms, or at least from the bicep down on the inside, and then on the outside from the bicep up into the shoulders, and then through the yoke at the back here, it then has a poly cotton blend, which allows it, one, to be very tough, but also a little bit more kind of wear resistant and nice against your skin. Generally, if you are going to have a base layer underneath that, a lot of them will probably stop here anyway. Cuffs on this, so you do have the cuff closures on this, rather than being buttoned or rather than being elastic, which it potentially has the chance to fail or, you know, degrade over time. Instead they have hook and loop closures on this, which are really nice. If it is that you're wearing gloves and you want this to fit over your gloves, hopefully you'll be able to see here, it opens out like a wizard sleeve, but just not too big. I have tried some of these in the past where when you open that out it bellows open and it's ridiculously too big. I think they've got it just about right so that you can pull this over a glove but not have it just like flapping around. Then moving up onto the rear here, so you have additional reinforcement through the elbows. If you're the type of person that likes to go prone quite a bit, then you can do with this. Now I don't think No, I didn't think they did. Let me just triple check. No, they don't. So there isn't a pocket in this as such that you can put some light padding into. I think they do have a different version which is a little bit tougher that you can put that into there, but mainly this is just really a second layer to add more kind of wear resistance to that. Both arms are exactly the same, by the way. As I'm talking, whatever I talk about on this sleeve is exactly the same on this sleeve. So at the bicep on the right hand side here, you do have a small Helikon-Tex little insignia on there. It's very small, very subtle, and kind of out of the way. In front of that you then have a bicep pocket, again exactly the same on both sides. So if you have certain tools, if you have certain medication, I know on a lot of skirmishing fields they ask if you have a certain medication to either keep it in a top right pocket or one of your bicep sleeves, bicep pockets, then you know people will have instant access to that medication should you need it. But yes, very good for that, and it does have a little color coded tab on there so that you can get easy access if you're using gloves that day, which, let's face it, we're all using gloves. Then behind there, this is pleated as well, so it does give it extra kind of room just in case you want to put a bulkier item in there. You might have a second pair of gloves, a balaclava or a neck gaiter maybe that you want to keep in one of them, which is very good also for a second use, just in case, you know, somebody needs, I don't know, something. I mean, I've wiped my arse on a fair few neck gaiters that have just ended up in the countryside somewhere. Anyway, where was I? Right, so we then have two morale patches or places for morale patches on here. There is a larger section here which is full hook and loop, and then you have a smaller section on the top as well. And as I've mentioned several times, exactly the same on this side. The only difference with this side is that you just have the small Helikon-Tex logo here on your right bicep, whereas on the left bicep there is no Helikon-Tex logo. Now as far as logos are concerned, normally you would have one here on your left hand side over your heart, but with this one it's kept nice and clear. I think a lot of that mainly comes down to the hardware that this front panel takes, especially again if you've got a chest rig on or you've got a plate carrier on top of this. That will just eventually just go all weird and matty and crappy, and nobody wants that. Now on the back, hopefully you'll be able to see, there's not much there. It's just a clear back. You're not really going to have anything on there because it's a hard kind of reach area. On the front though, rather than being a full zip or button all the way down that you get with some other tactical shirts, the way that a combat shirt works is generally you just have a zipper on this. So the zipper comes down just to about kind of say 2/3 of the way down your sternum, which allows you to get in some nice fresh air. There is also a wind sleeve on the inside. So just in case you do want to take it all the way up, just to help to keep your neck nice and warm on days when it is cold or it's raining or it's very blustery, then it will help to stop some of that wind coming in through the zip. At the top of the zipper you have a little beer guard just in case you have some facial pubes like I do. It just stops that from getting stuck into there. The neck on this is a crew neck, so rather than being a traditional turn down neck, which is nothing to say that you can't turn this down, which hopefully as you can see here it is possible to do, but generally I tend to find that I will keep it up. The advantage of a crew neck is that where you've got slings around your neck for your rifle, all of that sort of stuff, it will ride up against this. So if you have just normal kind of t-shirts that you wear and you get that chafage on your neck and that's what's really annoying you if you're thinking of picking one of these up, this really is one of the huge advantage over this, over just say a normal t-shirt, is the fact that you get that kind of cover on your neck so that any slings, rifle slings like that will stop your neck from chafing. Now there are two different materials on this. So on the inside you have that polyester material, mainly because you're sweating on your neck and it's nice to have that against your skin. Also will help with some of that moisture wicking, which will also help with slings rubbing on the outside of this, which will stop it, that kind of you know, when your skin gets all tacky when it gets a bit moist, that helps. But then on the outside, you then have this poly cotton, which is great. Again, it has a smoother finish to it for your sling when it's moving around your neck. Probably talked about slings and necks a bit too much there. Now coming further down to the bottom of this, so there's no sort of pulls or anything like that, so that you can cinch this tight. That's not how these shirts are designed to work. Lots of nice movement through there. If I want to push my gut out, I can do, but you know, they're great. They also sit quite low as well. That's one thing that you will find with these. When you put it on, you think, that's huge. It's not huge. These sit a lot lower, so that when this is tucked in, which it isn't at the moment obviously, when this is tucked in, it just makes sure that it goes further down into your pants. That way when you're lifting your hands over your head, whatever you're doing, climbing through windows, kicking down doors, all the kind of weird shit that we enjoy doing, it just means that if this is to ride up, then you've still got, say, 2 or 3 more inches left still within your pants, so that you don't end up just like ending up with your belly out and looking like a bit of a tit. Now, all in all, I really do like the Helikon-Tex MCDU Combat Shirt. I think this is a great example of all of these modern day combat shirts that are out there, and I'd definitely say if you're thinking of picking one of these up, I'd say I highly recommend this. Now, this wasn't sent to me from Military First, however, I have a very good relationship with Military First. Military First can give me a discount code for Moorlander 10, which will get you 10% off your purchases, whatever it is that's in the basket. Now, I have to reiterate on this though, that it's 10% off non-sale goods. Military First have a lot of sales through the year, so if something is already on sale, this isn't a further 10% off that. It is just 10% off non-sale goods. But yes, whenever I make a piece of content with Helikon-Tex and I know that it's something that Military First sell these, then I always give them a big shout out, because they've helped to support my channel here on Moorlander Tactical, and also my sister channel Moorlander EDC for the last 5 or 6 years, and they're a great team as well. Now, of course, I'll leave some links below so that you can see more from this, and also links to the Military First website. If you do want to pick one, you can pick one up from there. I'll also leave some of my social media links here on Moorlander Tactical and my sister channel, Moorlander EDC. But for now, as always, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay tactical. My favourite European manufacturers, which is Helikon-Tex. We're here today to look at the MCDU titties Helikon-Tex content, but also my sister channel Moorlander EDC. I've also reviewed a lot of Helikon-Tex content. Oh, you start again. Moorlander, and this is Moorlander Tactical. Today we are here to look at top garments. Top garments? That sounds stupid. Dick. Is the Helikon-Tex MCDU, sorry, got the letters wrong way around, the MCDU Combat Shirt. I bodged that bit at the end. In my head, because I did it wrong the other day, I went, and stay EDC, which I was like, shit, it's tactical, because it's the same ending but with EDC or tactical. So in my head I was going, say EDC, stay tactical, don't say EDC, stay tactical, don't say EDC, and I was just about to say EDC, and I went tactical. I think this is coming out on Friday, as it usually does. Happy Friday, mother truckers.